Hi, Capricorn Sun and Rising. Welcome to your April 2022 Astro Update. It's Rena here. Right off the bat, on the first of the month, we have a new moon at 11 degrees of Aries, and Aries is another cardinal sign, and it's the one ahead of you. When I say ahead, the wheel of astrology is always, it's an eternal wheel. So, you're a Capricorn and Aries is going to be ahead of you on that wheel. And this is the fourth house of home and family. So you might see new developments with family matters or real estate. Could be moving into a new home. Now you have Chiron in Aries. I don't know what degree it is. I don't necessarily do a lot of asteroids when I do forecasts or anything like that, so I haven't really looked at the ephemeris for Chiron and the other asteroids, but I believe it would be pretty close to that degree, and so that can be very healing for something in your childhood, maybe an insight that you have, or something that you're doing that is having that type of an impact. A new relationship with your mother that, if you had control issues from her and now you're older and you have talked to her about it and she understands that she has to let you go. That's just one example. And even becoming a new mother, or if you're a male, a new parent, you can mother children if you're a father. It's the nurturing that we're really talking about. And so Venus is in Pisces on the 5th. Okay, so for Capricorn, what this means is that Venus and Mars are in Aquarius in the month of April. For Venus, this will be until the 5th, and Mars, it will be until the 14th. So if you're listening in the month of March to my April forecasts, you will already be experiencing this. And Aquarius is the second house for you. So this is a money area. So Venus is continuing its transit in your second house until March 5th, and that can be good for attracting money to you. And Mars, it's more of, rather than the attraction phase, it's more of the go out and get them type of phase. So, hustling for money. So both of these are here. Now you might say that they're contradictory, but they're really not, because you know how sometimes you might put in a lot of effort for something, and let's say it is to get money and you get like a nothing burger, but sometimes you kick ass, you work your butt off and you really get a lot of money. Sometimes, our work, when we put in some real old-fashioned work, it doesn't necessarily pay off. But remember too that some of the payoffs may come in the future. You may not see it in the immediate time frame, but it might pay off later on. I never believe that there's any wasted effort, but I certainly do believe that sometimes we are striving for things and it's not necessarily the way to go, that you can be trying too hard and things like that. I don't see it in this case because we have Venus here as well. So it kind of cooperates with that, since Venus is the ruler of the second house. And then Mars goes into Pisces on the 14th. So they will both be in that third house. The third house is a mental house. This is Gemini's domain. So if you think about everything that Gemini represents, this is what the third house represents. And so media, social media, teaching things, learning things. And these are practical types of things. This isn't like, medieval basket weaving, although that might actually medieval basket weaving would fall into the third house because it's some kind of a skill. So that was a bad example, but you know what I mean. Things that are abstract, that you're just learning for the sake of learning. No, these are actually, skills that you can acquire. And also you could be teaching those things. And if you are a literal teacher, maybe you're going to get a new assignment if you've been in between jobs, or tutoring, or that kind of thing. Maybe you can start your own tutoring business if you wanted to. So, and also this is the area of siblings. So, brothers and sisters, maybe even extended family members. With Venus here, there can be harmony. With Mars, there can be sparring. But activity. Mars can also just be, you're more active with these people. The third house can be neighbors, can be your local area. Now, if you are moving, or you're thinking of moving, if the new moon in Aries is planting ideas in your mind, they're like, that's it, I'm moving, then you might be scouting local areas. Even in your own basic city, suburb, town, village, whatever, that you would like to live. If you want to stay in the same area, but you want to live in a different part of town, or, even if it is a different town, if it's in the local domain, that's the third house. You might just be doing a lot of stuff locally too. Venus in the third could be online dating and communicating with somebody online. On the 16th, we have a full moon at 26 degrees of Libra. This is your 10th house of career. This is the house that you rule, Capricorn. So this is really important for you because this could be some crowning achievement, and also other people can sit up and take notice, and your name can be more visible. This is your house of public reputation and your achievements and things like that, and other people can sit up and take notice of them. So that can enhance career. You might get a promotion. Now, keep in mind that we have full moons in Libra every year. So this is not to suggest that at every full moon in Libra you're going to get a promotion, but it's just possibilities of how this can play out. It's good to see your natal chart so you can see exactly what degree it falls into. If you have other planets there that this would hit and stuff like that. I recommend astro.com as a free site, and it really has clear charts. It's really important to be able to read things if it's kind of like the symbols, just the way that it's laid out. I see these other sites, I just can't deal with it. This is very, very basic and nice. On the 19th, we have the sun going into Taurus. Now, that's nice for you because Taurus is a fellow earth sign, so that forms a trine with your sun or ascendant, and that's very nice. And for you, this is the 5th house, and that's nice because this is the house of pleasure. So anything that is fun, what you consider fun. Some people consider sports fun. The 5th house can be sports. Some people consider going to an art gallery fun. It's the house of creativity, so that also goes along with art galleries and theater and concerts. But this is also the house of love. So if you're single and looking, this is always a great time of year to have this happen. But you also have Uranus transiting this house. So I'll get to the eclipse in this house in a minute, but this can be something where it's love at first sight, where you meet this person and you know that you're destined to be with them forever. The 5th house is not commitment area, it's just the love side of things, but still, sometimes people feel that way, that they just like, they fall in love the first time they lay eyes on somebody, and it's not just like they think that that person is hot. On the 29th, Mercury goes into Gemini, and on the same day, Neptune goes retrograde. So up until this time, all the planets are direct. This is a great launching period in April, most of the month. I would say, even afterwards, it's no biggie. It's just that we have the eclipses, and that's supposed to also shake things up and make things less certain. But you still have good energy to work with. So Gemini, for you, Capricorn, is your sixth house of work. Now, this is compatible in the sense, even though Gemini is in conjunction to you. In other words, it's a 150-degree angle, very weird type of combination. It is the house that it resides in is very favorable for you because it's the domain of Virgo, so it's an earth house. And so you resonate with what that house represents. Namely, this is the house of your service to others, otherwise known as work, your work schedule, or actually your daily routine, which is kind of a weird thing to talk about, but is very important if you think about life as a whole. Take it from somebody who has Neptune in the sixth house, how vital it is to have some semblance of a routine, and how I don't. And I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't. And so it's in terms of time management, so making best use of time, being the most productive. This is what this house is all about. Efficiency. That's another thing. Having systems in place where you're not spinning your wheels and wasting movements and stuff like that. But it's also the house of health. And so this can be a time when, like with Mercury here, where you're reading books on health. The last book I bought on health was The Medical Medium, and it's the revised version because I checked out the book from the library, the revised edition, and it was a massive. It was a hardcover and it was massive, and it was like $40. And even the ebook was like really up there. And now, when I bought it a while ago, it was like $15. This is US dollars. So they cut the price in half. I bet you the ebook was about $30 or something. So if you have any kind of weird, like mysterious health conditions, and you may have even consulted with medical professionals who could not pinpoint it, you might want to try this book. I can't guarantee it. I can't really vouch for it because I haven't gotten past the beginning of the first chapter, but it seems very interesting. I like this idea of mediumship. That's what Edgar Cayce used to do. The late great psychic Edgar Cayce, he was a health medium in particular, but he also predicted other things. I don't know if all of them came true. He had some pretty interesting predictions for sure. But yeah, so you might be reading up on your health, or you might be really focused on your diet, thinking about it at the very least. And on the same day, Neptune is in Pisces and retrograding in its own sign of Pisces on that date. And this is an important thing that I really did not emphasize enough, is that the third house, which for you is Pisces, is the house of the mind. This is where you have so much going on, and I didn't even mention Jupiter's there. And actually, I should have put this down, but Jupiter and Neptune will form a conjunction on the 12th of April. Now, this is more of an exact conjunction because, in truth, they are still going to be close enough to be a conjunction at other times within the next period of time, I don't know the exact dates, but in even as early as March, I think. I'll have to double check that. But the point is that, at least in April, but this is a very, very exact conjunction, and maybe the exact minutes are also forming a conjunction. And I'm trying to get a total handle on how this is going to manifest. I listened to a couple of astrologers about this, and basically, I mean, this could be for the mundane astrology or the astrology for the world. This might be a very inspirational moment where we really feel this sense of hopefulness. It's been kind of a dark couple of years, obviously, and maybe we have this breakthrough of positivity. But I think on the individual level, we look at these even with the outer planets, like Neptune involved in this. We can still see personal what is going to affect us personally. And for you, this is third house stuff, and it can be something like a spiritual download, or even like a spiritual upgrade in terms of your consciousness. Maybe this is like a psychic upgrade and you have more psychic ability. Certainly, if you have Neptune in the third house, this is going to up your game psychically. Capricorn, you may have already noticed that you are feeling more psychically connected. Of course, we got to, give and take. And so, in terms of logic, that might be kind of not as on point. You might have more fuzzy logic, and you know what, maybe that's a good thing, because as a Capricorn you're naturally grounded and into that you know proof type of mode that the 3D consciousness is all about, is like, show me the proof, show me the tangible evidence of things. And Neptune doesn't need that in order to believe and to really feel it in their bones. So this may be some kind of spiritual experience that you experience on the mental psychic level. And by the way, this is a good time to say that this is a general forecast for the sun and rising. Your individual mileage may vary based on your natal chart. If you would like me to look at your chart, I have a deep dive reading that is a special price and is a double reading, 2 hours in length. And you can check out the link below for that. But the last thing that we have is a solar eclipse in Taurus. And I haven't heard a lot of astrologers. I don't really listen to too many these days. But this is the second new moon in Taurus. I mean, not in Taurus, in a month, within the month of April. So this is like I think they call it a black moon or a dark moon, or, no, wait a minute, dark moon. I think it's called a dark moon. It's like a blue moon for the full moon. And but this is a solar eclipse, so it's very powerful. Well, it's at 10 degrees of Taurus, and it's going to be in that sector that is dealing with love and creativity. So a solar eclipse, this could be new beginnings on steroids in this area. However, I will note that the solar eclipse can bring up important but maybe uncomfortable issues for you to think about as it relates, I would say, specifically to love. So this is important, though, because since you are having the North Node transiting this sector at this time, you may, come in contact with somebody who could be your soulmate. But if you're not prepared for them, if you're still wounded by a past love, for instance, if you have trust issues, I'm speaking to you Capricorns with the moon in Scorpio, or maybe even Venus in Scorpio. I think you can have that. You can actually have that. You could have Mars in Scorpio too, though. So being able to be open to love is important, because you can have all the, the greatest possible potential loves coming into your life, but if you don't have that sense of being open and trusting, how can it really take root? So this can be great for artists. This can be great. I think this can, in a weird way, if you are this stuffed shirt Capricorn, and yes, I would say that's kind of a redundancy when you're younger. As you get older, you loosen up. But if you are a bit of a stuffed shirt, you may realize this. Maybe somebody will say, "Why are you so uptight? Here we are at a party, and you can't just sit back and relax and enjoy yourself." And maybe you know what I think it is. I think it's oh, I just had that. I must have either like very mischievous spirit guides, or my mind goes into weird places. I'll tell you in a minute, but I want to finish my thought. You might have friends tell you that you just can't relax and have fun. And this is probably because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And it's like you feel like you have to be serious in life, and you have to muscle your way through life, and you frown on anything that is fun because it's considered frivolous. Now this is a broad brush. If your sun in Capricorn, you may have inner planets in Sagittarius, and you might be much more fun loving, and your moon sign can be anything if your sun is in Capricorn, or your rising sign. But what I was laughing about was, I was thinking about, there was that saying, lie back and think of England. I wonder if English people know about that one. I used to hear that, and they would say that to women, you know, who were what they call frigid, who didn't enjoy sex. And the fifth house is recreational sex. So lying back and thinking of England. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I don't know what England has to do with anything. I'll have to figure that out. Maybe, oh, you know what? I bet you it's a Victorian phrase. I bet you this is from England, not America. Why did I think it was from America? Okay, well, on that note, I'm going to leave it there, Capricorn. I hope that you resonated with all of that, especially the last part. And if you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.